Welcome back to the Inspiring Victory Show, where we help you double your business, double your impact, and change the world. I am so excited. One of my favorite people in the whole entire human world is Doug Crow. And Doug's with us today. Doug's one of the great marketing minds of our time. I cannot talk to him without learning something. I cannot talk to him without growing my business. He just knows so much about so many things. And it's almost so much that people can't even wrap their brain around all of the marketing tactics and ways of getting your business to grow substantially. And since he is this constant learner and is connected with 25,000 people on LinkedIn organically, he also just has access to everything that's going on and sort of his finger on the pulse of everything that's happening, including all the exciting new things that are happening with AI, and has figured out ways to use AI to enhance what we're doing and not be something it's scary. So that makes all of us valuable forever, with or without AI, which is amazing. So glad to see you. Hi. So glad you're here. Thank you for joining us. I'm so glad. I appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
All right. So there's a lot of things that I want to know from you. You have started talking about how, you've got 25,000 connections that you've just built up over the last bunch of years. And we can take that to 100,000, you were saying. And that would be a big advantage to most companies. Or if you're at 100,000, you go to 1 million or whatever, but you can expand how many connections you have there. What are a couple of tactics that you know of that we might be able to use to expand how many connections we have and thus expand our reach?
Great question. Number one, I thank you so much for the beautiful intro and the question. So when it comes to LinkedIn, because that's my favorite place to go for our business level, right? B2B operations, is, everyone is what's the word they use? Oh, it's an attention economy. Everyone's wanting attention, right? And going back to the AI thing, because AI is so prolific now, and there's more and more and more content, there's a math problem no one's really talking about that I do. And that is this. The explosion of content, like 550 million posts a day, 4.5 million podcasts. Last time I checked, Sarah, I still only had 8 hours a day to consume this stuff, maybe 12 if I'm an entrepreneur. So mathematically speaking,
20 if you're an entrepreneur,
right?
But yeah.
If you're crazy. So mathematically speaking, this is physics, right? This is undeniable. Everyone's getting less attention, period. Stop. You cannot get more attention if there's more content in the same amount of hours. It doesn't work. So it's going to get worse and worse and worse. Everyone's going to get less and less attention. So my methodology, the way I'm using LinkedIn, is I don't ask for attention. I give it instead.
Brilliant. Because that's what everybody wants.
It's what they want. That's what builds affinity. Yeah.
You and I are always talking about this, about how it's going in also as the buyer, not the seller. You're going in with something of real value. I want to help you, and I have things that would help you.
Right.
And if everybody is looking for attention and you give it, that is something that people do remember. When people, like something on a post that you do, or in our case, sign up on the podcast or write a nice sentence. People remember that. Even people you wouldn't think. They remember. Remember those.
Look at our conversations we've had over the past few years. We haven't done any hard business yet, but we're talking about stuff. We're supporting each other, and then from that is where big business happens. It's not going to happen by pitching. It's going to happen by relationship first. And then you build affinity, and then there's trust, and then, okay, now I can do a 6-figure deal with you. It's just easier.
Well, and some things never change. I mean, the fact that we do want to do business with people that we do have some knowledge of, whether we know them by following them on YouTube or following them on LinkedIn or whatever or Instagram or whatever platform that is, we do want to feel like we know them. We do need to trust them to do business with them, and we need to, we like the experience, because who wants to work with people you don't necessarily like? And also, when we're talking about some of these deals, we do huge projects with small to medium-sized companies. They are going to do that with people that aren't consistently showing interest in what they're doing and how they're doing it and how they want to accomplish those things. And the one thing that AI can't do is care.
Yes. My TEDx talk about three things. It doesn't have any heart. It cannot experience anything that humans can experience. You can only regurgitate what it reads, and it has no responsibility. So responsibility, heart, and experience, man, if you don't have those things as a human, you're in trouble. But AI will never have those, no matter how good it gets. Hopefully it won't get responsibility, but it will never experience a human soul, heart, right? It can't do that. So you've got to make sure that's part of I use the expression, we use AI. We don't let AI use us.
Right.
So
And I think that's, it's such a powerful tool. And I don't understand in some jobs I can see the fear of it. However, if you are always building those connections to people where you are
yeah,
you are the one that has the wisdom. And I say this a lot, but we went through the Iron Age and the this age and that
yes,
age. And then we had the information age was really big as we were growing up and everything. And we are now in the age of wisdom. We are looking for people, actively looking for people who share our values and who can give us wisdom. How do we apply the bazillion pieces of information that we have? We don't want any more information. We have so much
yeah,
information.
much,
We need Chat GPT or some other form of that
yes,
to boil it down into something we can actually manage. So,
yeah,
but the one thing that cannot do is give you wisdom about you, about your company, and about what you're trying to
right,
accomplish. So
right,
the age of wisdom, that's that perspective and that point of view and that intention to
hmm
help a company grow. In our case, how do you double your business, but how do you and the people who actually work there, how does that actually happen? But AI can be a very helpful tool. One of the things that you do, and we're always doing the same, is
yeah,
talking about the fact that having a book
hmm
is something that can give you that positioning opportunity. It'll give you a never ending stream of new business because
yeah,
if that title is good enough and you live or die by
mhm,
that title, it will tell people exactly what the biggest benefit of working with your company is. You can use that, your team can use that, your salespeople can
hmm
use that, your website can use that, your social media can use that, your YouTube channel can use that. And all of a sudden, everybody knows why they should come to you and what wisdom you can provide for them that is such a big benefit that they would hand you $1 million, as soon as they know you, like you, and trust you. And then
yeah,
that last thing is legacy, which we both love that
mhm,
idea, which is
yeah,
it has to be a good book. It can't be just a doorstop. It has to actually be
right,
a good book. And the problem with AI completely at this point is they are regurgitating other things or other things you said.
yeah,
It may be an okay book, but it's probably not going to be great because it doesn't have a soul like humans do, which is
mhm,
one of the great advantages of getting to be human. And it's not going to be able to fulfill the wisdom factor, the
right,
goal of the
mhm,
book. Are you trying to get a never-ending stream of new business? Are you trying to leave a legacy of some sort where somebody wants to read this book 100
yeah,
years from now and it's still good? And are you trying to position yourself so that your company is the number one in your marketplace 18
right,
months from now?
yeah,
So those are all the things that you sell and that I sell, which is why we send a lot of referrals back and forth to each
that's
other,
right,
even though we
yeah,
haven't worked on a project together yet, but I know it's coming.
great.
I am so incredibly honored to have you as a part of the Inspiring Victory tribe at the Inspiring Victory Show. Please do us a favor. We really need your help. Please like, subscribe, share, write a comment. It makes a huge difference with how many people we can reach here at the Inspiring Victory Show, and it makes a big difference to me personally. I want to make sure that we're providing content to as many people as we possibly can so they can grow and succeed. So we'd love to have you continue your membership here at the Inspiring Victory Show. It's free. Helping us out costs nothing, but it makes a huge difference in how many people we can help. So double your business, double your impact, and change the world. And thank you so much for being a part of this extraordinary community. Thank you. You guys use
Every
AI.
day, a lot of
Yes.
workflows, and I started using
Yeah.
Perplexity to actually go into my Go High level and do things. It could go in there.
Oh,
I was like stressing on the tactical side because my team is working something else. Like I'll go play with it. Like, oh, this is a confusing thing. And Perplexity can actually log in and click for me and do an audit and load my emails and check things.
yeah.
I'm like, I'm just talking while I'm working. And I've
Nice.
got two screens here. So I've got Claude over here, editing something,
Yeah.
and Perplexity is doing some operational stuff for me. And I'm just sitting here talking to you. So, but I want to
Yeah. It
add one
has
thing.
advantages. Yeah.
I want to add one thing to the wisdom piece because it's true
Yeah.
that wisdom and discernment are still pretty much the domain of humans, although that might change in the coming years.
It
But
could. Yeah.
one thing won't, and this is the thing that I'm going to go back to because you and I both understand for enterprise type clients, it's AI cannot build a relationship with you or with your customer,
Mm.
right? No matter where you are, selling chewing gum or rocket ships, there's a price point that at some point you need to talk to a human being. I want a relationship with a person because I'm putting my reputation, my finances, my brand on the line. I'm not going to trust AI to
Yeah.
do some things that are high level, right? And that's the relationship
Right.
standpoint. So a couple of years ago,
Well,
we started really focusing on that.
and AI makes mistakes. It now has a little disclaimer. Hey, this may
Yeah.
not be right. And you're like, okay, why am I using this if it isn't going to be right?
Yeah.
You know, my beloved Steve Victory, he asked ChatGPT a bit ago what was going on some summit or something. And it said, well, Joe Biden will be there. Well, Joe Biden hasn't been a president and hadn't been a president for like months and months on end. If it can mess up on
Yeah.
something as fundamental as that, not that it won't improve in something, but we do have to remember that if you're trying to use all of your citations or all of your quotes, all the stuff from ChatGPT, it's not
Yeah.
always right.
That's why I use Perplexity for research. Funny story. I'm not going to mention which one it was, but one of the AIs was hallucinating so badly. It gave me such bad information for a couple of weeks. I'm like, what's wrong? You used to be really good a couple of weeks ago. What happened to you? And oh, I'm sorry, but put in this hard protocol. I'm trying to train the skills and try to get, and it was messing up. I said, you know what? I want a refund. Oh, well, I can't do refund. I said, write me a letter, document all your mistakes so I can send it to. So it drafted this beautiful letter, all its mistakes, all the things it promised and didn't do. And I got the refund. I was like, okay, well, thank you for helping me.
That was worth it right there.
$90.
There are a lot of things that it does really, really, really well. I mean, if you need to draft especially if you're in high emotions and you need to draft a letter that's really, really polite,
Yeah, that's right. Bring it down.
Yeah, exactly.
I had a letter to my HOA, and it was, it's good for some tactical stuff on that. But yeah, no heart, no emotion, no experience. So make sure you.
But if it needs emotion, then it's mimicking what we do. I follow this scientist online. She's amazing. She's a Cambridge professor. And she said, if you really want to get the most out of these AIs, they're very good at playing a role. So if you say, imagine you're the greatest marketer on the face of the earth. So if you're going to use it, use it smart. So, but at least give it a role to play.
Yeah.
And it will match and mirror whatever you're doing rather than treating it like Google.
Yeah. I give it an IQ and some names and say, you have an IQ of 200. And I want you to research Gary Halbert, Alex Ramosi, and blah, blah, and channel their style and thing, blah, 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 blah. And then I don't just stop there and have it write the prompt. I said, now using those parameters as your brain, write your own prompt. And oh my God, Sarah, when AI writes this, people talk about prompt engineering. I'm like, screw that. I found the magic bullet. The magic bullet is I never write a prompt anymore. I said, I want you to create a master prompt. These are my intentions and skills and what I want to happen. My prompts, they're like
fantastic.
2,000 to 3,000 words long. They're massive.
That's great because I couldn't do that. No.
So he writes his own prompts and the outputs I'm getting. Oh, this is good stuff. I still always review everything because I'm responsible and I edit it.
Right. And it may tell you that Biden's still president. Yeah, exactly. Or whatever the equivalent is. Yeah. You still have to be.
But I told our team nothing goes out of our company without a human being reading it, touching it, and managing
us
it.
too.
You can't do that.
Us too. Absolutely. Because there's always going to be something that is not from a brand standpoint. Is it really on brand? Is it really appropriate? Or does it sound so bland that it's not going to get you what you want? Once again, the same things that I was saying to people, 15 or 20 years ago, where I would say, what do you want this website to do for you? What do you want to this marketing piece to do for you? What do you want this book to do for you from a marketing? What do you want it to accomplish? Those still hold no matter what's going on. And just doing the thing is not the goal. You have to think back to the thousands of years ago. We have Ach and Grok standing around, and Ach says, oh, wow, you got a nice pelt on the wall there. It gets cold and I would really like that. And Grok says, oh, well, yes, then you have a beautiful goat, and we've been friends for years. So I trust you to do a good deal with me on a handshake. And next thing you know, there was a deal. Hands were shaken and everybody was happy. The benefit was, the milk, and the benefit was the fact that they were warm. And now we have gotten so far away from that of thinking you have to have certain things. But you don't have to have anything. I have a client gets $1 million a day to consult, does 6 a year, has this reconnaissance team that goes out and does all this unbelievable research, and he just shows up. And the only reason he has a website now, because I made him, was because they have this 26-page thing that CEOs have to fill out before he sees them. And his assistant was still literally sending them out on pieces of paper to be filled out. And now I'm like, that's over. That is just stupid. We're not doing that. But aside from that, that's literally the only way you can get to that website is if you are working with him on one of those 6. So you don't have to have a website. You don't have to have social media. I think you should have a book and you should have a podcast because
Most, not
60% say most, but not everybody. No, there's a lot of people that don't
No.
need that. I mean, we get
Right.
60% of our business from our podcast without trying. So I do think it's a good idea. And I think the fact that all you have to say is, what do you guys do at your company? Oh, we've written a book on what we do over here. It's called,
Yeah.
and people go, oh, we need all 3 of those things. Let's have a
Yeah.
meeting. That's way better than pitching. But,
Yeah.
again, it's what do you want this thing to do for you, which is how your brain is always
Right.
wired. So what are the things that we should be doing from a marketing standpoint that we might not be doing?
You should actually talk to people. Actually talk to the people. I'm sorry. It's old
Yeah.
school. And the more I do that, the more I get out away from the computer and talk to people in person. And it reminds me of the 80s and 90s, Sarah. I know it's slow. You got to drive somewhere, have coffee and blah, 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 and come back and it takes up half your day. But gosh, every time I do that, I'm a visage speaker. So I meet people in person, I'll spend a day with 16 CEOs. It's solid work. It compounds over time. So number one marketing thing you should do is get out of the house and go meet people in person. Number one.
Or,
Two,
or at least on Zoom or something. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm in the middle of Europe. I actually have a guy flying to meet with me in Malta, and another guy and gal own a company that's across Europe. And again, we could do it all on Zoom, but no, they're meeting me in Spain when I
Why?
get there in April. So
why are they coming to
there's
meet you in
still.
person versus Zoom?
Right, exactly. Because there is a human something, and it sounds so fluffy, like, oh, who would care about that? But
Yeah.
it's the fact that again, we are still Auk and Grok. We think we are not, but we
Yeah,
are
no.
still those
Yeah.
people that want to be heard, that want to be
Right.
seen, and we want our companies seen.
Mhm.
Oprah Winfrey said one of the coolest things ever. She said, all we really want, it doesn't matter if you have a startup or if you're trying to grow a company, the company that brought me to Europe, we took them from 75 million to 156 million. I'm trying to help them get to 300 million. Doesn't matter what size. It's always about the most important thing people want is someone to believe in them.
Yep.
Believe in the beauty of their dreams. And she said, all we
Absolutely.
really want is someone to believe in us.
Mhm.
And I think the one thing that AI really cannot do yet is, again, the wisdom, the discernment, and as you pointed out, all of those other components, those human components, but also it cannot believe in the beauty of your dreams and hold that space for it to happen and help you and it can't have intention. What I found is that I think people could pay this the gazillion dollars that they now pay us to do the stuff that we do, like these huge projects where it's like we're their fractional marketing department and we've got books that are being written and we've got ghostwriters and we have podcasts that are being, whatever the company, and 26 consultants to bring in, right? I think they could toss the money on a virtual table and then go, thanks so much, and walk away. They'd probably get half the value out of it because of the fact that someone did believe in them and because they invested themselves and that money in making it happen. And because we all had that same intention of this is possible and we are going to do this. And that humanity, I don't think that's ever going to be able to be replaced.
I hope not.
So tell me more. All right, let's say somebody has 200, but if you want 10 times the number or 5 times the number of people on LinkedIn, part of it is go meet actual people. And I think it's not just the number of people that you want, but you want quality people that share your values, because you can have a whole bunch of bots on YouTube or on any of these platforms, or you can have people that are all a bunch of jerk commenting mean things.
Yeah.
So how do you do that right?
So the right way to do that, again, it's going to be organic. And there's a path that a lot of people are trying with these automations, which LinkedIn's still against their terms of service. So don't do that. But I have a friend who took his LinkedIn business. Let me rephrase it in your language. He grew his SaaS from 0 to 5 million ARR solely on LinkedIn with no ad spend and reducing his SDR and BDRs by like 80%.
Okay, you're gonna have to tell everybody what all I knew what most of those acronyms were.
All right.
So those last two you lost me.
The gentleman has some software he's selling as a service. He grew it to 7 figures in the millions of dollars with sales reps and business development reps by 80% to a small company, and they've doubled or tripled their business. solely by creating a plan on LinkedIn to grow their followers and engagement in an authentic manner by doing a build in public program. So he's a friend of mine, a client. He did a whole video on what he did, how he went from, I think, 5 or 10,000 followers to 144,000 followers in 18 months. I took 80 of his posts. I took his video tutorial. I fed it into my AI machine, of course, and said,
AI is great.
What can I do? And I took 2 other people who are in 6-figure followers, 100, 200,000 followers. I took their stuff and fed it. So now digest what they did, give me the framework, blueprint, blah, 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 how to do it. It's a lot of manual work. That's the one thing that's going to scare a lot of people away. And that's what makes me lean into it. So I'm starting a cohort at the end of this month where I'm going to go from 25,000 to 100,000. And I'm inviting people to join me and watch and play and do it with me. And there's no cost. It's just going to be fun for us to build. Once a month, we're going to get on and we're going to share each other's posts.
We will make sure that we put in the post down below or wherever you're looking at on YouTube or wherever you are. We'll make sure that you have a way to get in. And if you're a member of the Inspiring Victory Tribe, then you get in for free. One of the benefits of coming to the show.
That's right.
Well, thank you for that. That's lovely.
It'll be fun.
All right. That will be fun.